And we are live. Hey, everyone. Welcome back again to Immigrant Story. This is Deo. I am your host for tonight. Today. Tonight in the UK and Nigeria. Today, this is a brand new day in Australia. This is currently 6 a.m. in Australia. This is Sunday. Sorry, my mind. But anyways, guys, how are you all doing? Guys, please come live. Hey, you will not set alarm. Let me post. Guys, how are you all doing? Hey, where's my Facebook? Cool. So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook as well. So if you're joining, thank you, and let me know where you're watching from. Today we're gonna be doing all things Canada. So if you want to go to the Maple land, you're best being here. And if you are happy, please share this live video. Let's get people in here. Okay, we all know that Canada is hot cake. A lot of people want to go to Canada. And of course, how would they move if you don't have idea? So let's share this live. If you're on YouTube, on Facebook, please share. Let's get people here. So my guests went to Canada from Jamaica. She's a nurse, but she's going to give us a rough idea on how she moved and probably how you can also move as well. So hopefully she'll be able to answer all your questions about Canada, because me, I've not been to Canada, so I don't know much about Canada. Only that I know that it's cold. That's the only thing I know about Canada. But yeah, I'm happy to also learn from her. So yeah, I believe you're gonna enjoy today's live stream. So yeah, we have 66 people, and I'm happy to start. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you, Oluchi. Thank you, Peace. Thank you, Glamour. Thank you, Richard from Nigeria. Oh, from Manchester. I used to live in Manchester, my love. I love Manchester so much. Portia, watching from Ghana. Oh, my love. Thank you so much. Akwaba, no. Medase, Portia. Shimere, I love you. I love you too. Ibrahim, I love you. From Kevi, Vivi, Kevi, Kogi, Lokoja. Hey. Right, I'm gonna invite my guests. Okay, 5 minutes. Let's wait for that people to join. Once it's 5 minutes past 6, I will invite my guest and we'll start. She's already here, so I don't want to keep her waiting. No, say time na money, Guys, please share. I'll buy biscuit for you people, please. Share. I'm so hyper this morning. Hi Oluchi, hi Nwafo, hi Victoria, hi Peter from Cameroon. Hey, I don't know how to speak French. I know Cameroons, they speak French. I'm sorry, I can't speak French. Hey, I can speak one French. I've forgotten. From Abidjan. People are watching me from all over the world. I love you all. So thank you. Canada, my dream country. Let's go to Canada. Let me invite our guests. At the stage. You're live now.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I know how stressful it is abroad, and making time for this is not a joke. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, so guys, we're going to start. I'll let our guest introduce herself to us and we can start.
Hi, I'm Akrifa Fairs. I live in Ontario, Canada, and I'm Jamaican by birth. I'm now a Canadian citizen by naturalization, living with my family of 5, my spouse, and 3 children. My last is 4 years old, and they're all Canadian citizens. And I migrated to Canada on a work visa in 2016 as a registered nurse.
To be honest, like that's the dream of every immigrant, to have their citizenship in the country they're in. And you've done so well for yourself. Honestly, like I can't wait for the day I'll just be a dual citizen. I'll just cry my eyes out. But yeah, you've done so well. Congratulations to you.
That's the ultimate goal, right?
I mean,
that you can be very comfortable in a country that is not your birth, and you're able to navigate and transition into different roles and other opportunities, like a citizen of the country that you have worked so hard in and paying taxes.
Exactly. And also for the fact that you're able to give your children this opportunity, because you know how it is. I don't know how it is like in Jamaica, but coming from where I'm coming
I'm
from.
not
Like,
going
I
anywhere
feel,
with my without my kids. So
yeah, I feel like your kids will really thank you for it. Then that's good. So can you just tell us about your educational background before going to Canada?
so I completed my registered nurse, a bachelor's of nursing sciences nursing in Jamaica at the University of the West Indies. I migrated to Canada afterwards, and I've completed my master's in health informatics at the University of Waterloo. I also, when I came here as a registered nurse back home, I was already a certified OR nurse. When you come here, you have to upgrade yourself, not only upgrade yourself, but you have to like repeat some of the stuff that you have already done in order for you to be qualified or in order for you to get opportunities. I know it's very frustrating and it's a lot of money spent, but trust me, if you don't spend the money, you're not going to get what you want. And in the long run, it pays off. So I completed my master's in University of Waterloo in informatics and my project management certification.
So that means you're not even practicing bedside nursing. Tell me.
No, I
Oh,
don't
that's
practice
the aim.
bedside nursing.
Good. That's really good, honestly. So how did you start your process from Jamaica? Like, what were the documents you required? Like the whole process.
I'm having some I don't know if you're hearing me, but you seems to be cutting in and out. I
Oh,
didn't
really?
hear your question.
Oh, I can hear you very. Guys, let me ask the people if they can hear us. Can you hear us properly so that we know if we need to go and come back so we don't just waste everybody's time? Guys, please reply under the comments. Can you hear us very well? I can hear her very well, but I don't know if you people can actually hear. Yes, we can. Okay. I'll just repeat the question. Probably just that part. Okay. So the question is, can you just give us your the requirements and also how you process everything going to Canada?
Let me get set up on my phone because I really can't hear what you are saying.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Um,
perfect.
yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Okay.
But you were asking about the qualifications coming to Canada?
Yeah.
All right, so it's all started.
If you want, you can actually switch to your phone and I'll bring you back so that we have a good experience together. What do you say?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Sorry. Let me switch
Yeah,
to my
yeah.
phone.
Absolutely. Just use your phone then. Use the link I sent to you, then come back. Right?
Okay.
Okay. I will be waiting. Do you want me to take you off now?
Yeah, you can take me off.
Okay. Guys, sorry, we need to clarify that so that we can all have a good experience because it's not fair if she's not hearing me very well and I have to be repeating myself. But she will come back. So yeah, let's wait. Let's wait. Anyways, before we wait, let's be chatting. What's happening? If you are trying to move to Canada, Australia, what process are you in? What stage are you in? Anything you think I can help with? Any information, ask me here. I'm happy to answer while we wait for her. Okay, so we should wait because it's not fair if she's not having a good audio. We will not enjoy this session. Okay, so yeah, let's wait. But yeah, you can ask me any question now. This is the opportunity. Ask me anything. Have you all gotten your passport? For those of you in Nigeria, have you gotten your passports? That's the first step. Oh, please, is it possible to move from Canada to Canada from? Yes, it's possible. I will ask her when she comes back. We'll ask her. Definitely, it's possible. I've seen a lot of people move from Canada, from UK to Canada, so definitely it's possible. If you're in the UK, it's quite easier. Not like it's easy, but it's better because you can easily apply for express entry. I don't know your background, but if you can make your research on express entry, you can write the English exam, score high, like get like 8 if you can. Even though it's very hard. Me when they talk, I don't get it. But yeah, if you can't get a minimum of 8 and then you apply, submit all your documents, and yeah. How can I migrate to Australia as a nurse in Nigeria? So if you want to come to Australia, if you are still in Nigeria, you have to write 3 exams. One of them is the English exams. You need to get a 7 in each band. You also need to write the OSCE exams here in Australia. And lastly, you have to write the Enlex exam as well. So they have 3 exams you need to write if you're coming from Nigeria. Enlex Center is not in Africa. No, it's in Africa, but it's not in Nigeria. I think in South Africa and Egypt. I'm not sure for Egypt, but yeah, you can write it in those countries. I hear people go to Brazil as well. You can write it in the UK, US, Canada, and all that. And when you write that, you can easily switch over and come write your OSCE. Thank you so much, Chioma. How can I migrate to Australia as a nurse? So I've answered that. Please, be able to become a nurse informatic in Australia. What should I do? So, Favor, like, I was making research because I also like it. You need to have a graduate certificate in digital health. I know there's a nurse that has gone through that pathway, but I'm trying to get out so we can talk about it. But you have to have a graduate certificate in digital health. Although some hospitals do not really mind. If you already have interest in it, you are willing to learn, because here they do train you most of the time to do those courses. So if you are willing to learn and you're willing to put in the efforts to become a nurse informatics, you can actually do it. But it's always better to have a graduate certificate. Graduate certificates in Australia takes like 8 months to 1 year, so it's just like an additional course you do in that specialty area. It takes like 8 months to 1 year to complete the graduate course, and after that you just start applying for nurse informatics role. Okay, but yeah, the roles are like, because we are going into the digital world and all that, so it's something you should consider. I'm also considering it, but I'll give you the gist later when I'm very clear of my whole part here in Australia. Must I have post basic before coming to Australia? No, Victoria, you don't need to have post basic. Can I ask you about New Zealand? I know little about New Zealand, although I have a license in New Zealand, but I've not been to New Zealand. I've not practiced in New Zealand. So if you can ask me, I'll tell you if I can answer or not. But yeah, how can I get what visa to Australia? So it depends on your pathway. It depends on what qualification you have. It depends on what kind of visa you want to apply for. But how you can get the work visa is if you qualify for anyone, you apply for it and you get it. Why migrate to Canada, Australia using work visa? Is it compulsory IELTS as an RN? So Queen, let's wait for her to come back, because she's the one that's gone through the process and she'll be able to tell us more information. I think she's back. Okay, let's add her back. She's not back. Oh. Okay. I'm planning to enroll for a master's course.
I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Let's see if she can come back.
I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Are you hearing me, Nurse Duo?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Or do you need some more time?
I'm trying to situate my stuff. But I think let me just move this computer so I can have more space on my desk.
Okay.
But I think I'm ready. I just wanted to, you don't want your stuff to show online.
No.
Okay, go now. Go on.
Okay. All right. So what are the qualifications you use, like the document and everything that was required for you applying for your work visa in Canada?
Okay, so firstly, there are quite a bit of recommendation or eligibility requirements that you have to get in place before you even get the opportunity to get a work visa. So firstly, I immigrate as a registered nurse into a registered nurse profession. So I can only speak about that. And the information that I'm going to be sharing is about my experience. I don't know about any other else experience because everybody else's experience is different. And the requirements are all different. So when I started out on the journey to Canada, in 2010, I had my first child. She was born in Canada, so it was always it was my aspiration to come to Canada. When I was in nursing school, I had I think it was just one topic or course about informatics, and I always wanted to do informatics. So it was just my it was an urge for me to leave Jamaica to do informatics. So that was my goal. And Jamaica didn't have a master's degree or a degree in informatics for me to do.
Oh.
All my friends were doing masters in education. Everybody's going to NP, anesthesiologist. I really never had any interest in that. So it was my drive. So in 2010, I started a journey. For you to work in Canada as a nurse, you have to have your license. Nobody will employ you without a license for as a nurse, whether you're a registered nurse or a registered practical nurse. Nobody employs you in a hospital or any facility to work under those professions without your license. It is a protected profession in Canada. You don't call yourself a nurse or a registered nurse without your license. Even if you came from a country with the
The
background and
nurse.
the experience, you're not supposed to not talk about, but acknowledge or identify yourself as a nurse. So the journey started. I applied to the College of Nurses of Ontario. So firstly, you need to identify the province that you need to that you desire to
Get a
immigrate
license.
to,
Yeah.
because every province has different licensed nursing body. So here I am in Ontario, and if I move to Alberta, I would have to go through a process to get my license to work in Alberta. So it's not transferable. So that's the first thing. You need to identify which of the province that you want to immigrate to, and then apply to that college of nurses. They call it College of Nurses of any of the provinces.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that application. I got eligibility to do my exam. At the time, they had written exam. I failed my first exam, which was in 2015. I'm like, oh my God, this exam at the time when I did it in 2015, the process was three. They had three. Um, you only can sit that exam one time for the year because it only runs 3 times. So if you fail the like once in the year, you have to skip the other exam in order to do the next one. So it takes you like 6 to 8 months to get around to do your exam again. But luckily, in 2016, they it changed totally. The process for your licenseship in Canada changes. So they have like an umbrella application process where all the internationally educated nurses would send their application there. You identify where or which of the province that you want them to send your documents to after they have done their assessment. And so with that change came Enlex. So in 2015, it's 2015 or 16, that they changed from the written exam to the electronic exam, which is Enlex. So I went on to do my NCLEX. I passed my NCLEX, and at the time there was a few agencies, nursing agencies from the U.S. that was targeting Jamaica. Had no interest in going to the US, but I didn't have a plan. Oh, I'm going to get into Canada. Anyways, I found a nursing agency that recruit international nurses, and at the time I had my NCLEX, so I was eligible to get a job now. So, and that's the requirement. If you apply to the nursing agency, they will
No.
not answer you because there's no way they can help you without your license.
Mm. That's
So when I applied, she looked and looked and she found something in Ontario. She did the application. At the time, the immigration process changed where the organization has to issue you a LMIA, which is a labor impact assessment. So they have to identify that they don't have anybody in Canada, nobody's applying to the job, and they need people to do the job. And so they apply to the government, and the government issues them an LMIA, and they send that to the applicant, which is me, and then I would take it to the Canadian embassy to get my work visa, and that's how the process goes. So after I received the LMIA, I did an application for the work visa, which comes with other requirements. Your passport has to be up to date. Ensure that if you start your journey or you're about to start your journey, that's your first thing that you need to secure your passport. Make sure you have your birth paper and your license that need to be updated. Update them. So for the license itself, not the license, but the application for the visa, I submitted the LMIA. I wanted my kids to be, at this time I had two children, so one was born in Canada and one was Jamaican at the time. So I didn't want to leave any of them. And that's one of the reasons why I chose Canada too, because they are very family oriented with their immigration system. If you are not married and you can prove that you're in a committed common law relationship with like your investments, your properties, your children, your common law spouse can come with you. So I put on both my children and my spouse on it, and they all got their documents to travel. So, and that's how the process all went with that visa application. So, you have to put the work in initially for you to even be eligible to get a LMIA for a work visa.
okay. Thank you so much. Did you write any English exam?
So the English exam was for the permanent residency when you're going to be doing your permanent residency. So the English exam wasn't required at that time
For work visa?
for the work visa.
Okay. So where did you write your NCLEX? Because is there any NCLEX center in Jamaica?
No, you have to travel to Canada to write your NCLEX.
And then what visa did you use to travel to Canada to
Your
write the NCLEX?
temporary work visa.
Oh,
So
it's same work visa. Okay.
not the work visa, sorry, the temporary visiting visa. You
Ah, okay.
you travel to Canada to write your NCLEX. Um yeah.
Okay. So did you like pay any agents to do your process, or did you do everything yourself?
So the for the agencies in Canada, they're not allowed to take money from the applicant because the government already given them money, or the company that they're working for already pays them. But you have companies that still charge applicants, and you just have to be careful, read their reviews, ask questions, and so forth. Sometimes the government will have like a list of eligible people that you
Mhm.
should be interacting with. The immigration lawyers are the same. If they're not on the list, you do not use them.
Yeah. I think Australia has the same thing as well. We have a website like you can only get those people for. Okay. So like how much did the whole process cost you? Just give a rough estimate just in case someone is out there looking at moving as well.
Okay, so the the application to the College of Nurses of Ontario, it was about 600 Canadian dollars.
Okay.
When I did my NCLEX, I think it cost the same amount, 600 Canadian dollars. Your license, you have to pay for that afterwards, and it cost me roughly around 250 at that time. What else did I pay for? I paid for the World Education Services because you have to do assessment of your educational background as well. because on the form, on the application, visa application, they want you to identify that you are qualified for the position. So you have to give them evidence of your qualification, and how they deem your qualification reputable is by doing an assessment of a company that is designated on their website in Canada. So these stuff also prepare you for the application for your permanent residency, because they do ask for the same information.
Nice. Thank you so. Um, roughly how long did the whole process take from when you started to when you traveled to Canada?
Okay, so I did my NCLEX in 2015 of October, and I made the application in the same year, and I was in Canada by the next year of April 20th.
Not too bad, because I know a lot of people, the whole process actually takes a long time, and
No.
probably it depends on the visa type you're going in with. Because I think if you're waiting for the express entry, if you're in the pool, it takes a long time. So I think that's a better way if people can actually utilize that. There was one other question that came to my mind. Okay, but we'll start taking questions, guys. If you have any question about how a nurse, if you're a nurse and you want to move to Canada and you want to ask her any question regarding her process, you can ask now, and we can start answering questions. But generally, how's life in Canada?
Generally, you come here, it's like you're starting over, right? So you have to now try to identify like what is priority for you,
Mm-hmm.
and identify what you need to work on first. So my priority was to ensure that my immigration status was solid. So once I came in 2016, I worked a year. Initially, honestly, I could have done my PR the same time with the LMIA, because that gave me like the not immediate, automatic
Mm-hmm.
qualification to apply for my PR. So it gave me like 600 points, and I that surpassed the eligibility points to apply for your PR at that time. Currently, I don't think the LMIA gives you so much points anymore. So it's a point system to do your PR. So they call it a Canadian the CRS
Yeah.
system. So they have um, a lot of requirements that you need to meet, and it gives you points, and it adds up until you meet the eligibility points. Then they will issue you like a notice that you are eligible to apply for your PR. So I did my PR the following year, and
Mm-hmm.
it took like less than 6 months, and I got my
That's
PR afterwards. And you have to, at the time, because when I'm saying at the time, because the immigration process changes so
and yeah,
much.
it's true.
It changes so much. So what I'm sharing now may not be the
Yeah,
same today
yeah,
if you
true.
go and read and research for yourself. So at the time, it took 6 months for me to get my PR,
Mhm.
and I had to be in the country for 5 years to do my Canadian citizen. And I did all of this independently, no immigration lawyers. I communicate back and forth with the immigration office
Yeah.
by myself independently.
That's true. What website can people go to get like your official agents? Because I know some people will still want to use agents. Do you know the website?
I was checking on the nursing agency that I used today, and unfortunately, it looks like she's no longer operating. But
Uh
it was PR. Let me. You can go and
ca-
check for yourself.
can you type it,
Cause
or do you want me to type it? I can type it if it's
oh,
just
I can type it.
you can. Yeah, I think you should be able to try it. Type it so that people can use it and get to the website. I
Yeah,
think it should be.
so I'm gonna type it, and then people can go and read for themselves. But honestly, I don't think it's operating like anymore, because I was checking on it and it doesn't seem like it's there anymore. But it's P
Mm-hmm.
rnstaffingsolutions.com.
ERN Staffing solutions.com.
You will see a lot of them popping up. This one was in Alberta at the time, and their name is Melaine Mullins.
Mm-hmm. One person. So PRN staffing solutions.com. Just in case you're interested, you can just check them out and see. Okay, let's start answering other questions. Right. While migrating to Canada and UK as a registered nurse before writing the NCLEX exam and passing it, one can start working before NCLEX. Okay, I think she's already answered this question. Can you see the question on the screen?
Yeah. So as I said, you cannot work without your license, and the NCLEX exam doesn't give you the license either. You have to actually get a status. So after you do the application to the they call it for the registered nurses that are educated outside of Canada. So they call us international nurses, right? So they have this the registration process. You open an account with the service, they call it National Nursing Assessment Service, as an international nurse. So when you go there, you open that account, you will identify, I think at the time they give you like two provinces that you can choose where would you want them to send your application to.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time when you open that account, they will start to ask you for documents.
Yeah.
Or when you open the account, they will give you a list of documents that you should send to them, and they will do the assessment. When they finish the assessment, they will inform you if you're eligible or your education was in par with Canada. And once they finish the application, then they send it off to the provinces that you had indicated that you want them to send your application to. Once those nursing bodies receive your application, then they do a second assessment to see whether or not they're going to just complete or confirm your application, or
Mm-hmm.
you need to have additional education before they give you that go ahead to do the NCLEX. When you complete your NCLEX, if you pass it, then they will send you a notification you have passed your NCLEX, and your last item that you need to complete now is to provide them with a status. A status meaning that eligibility to work. So you are either going to provide them with, okay, I'm a permanent residency, or you're a Canadian citizen, or you have a job offer, or you have an
Okay.
LMIA, or you
Okay.
have a work visa. So you have to have a legal status for them to issue the license.
Mhm. That's good. So this question, is it after you finish your NCLEX exam in Canada that you travel back to your country, or you just stay back?
So I traveled back home to my country. So you have to be smart about immigrating, right? So you you don't want to mess up your immigration status. You
No.
don't want to come into a country and overstay your visa, and then that is going to impact your immigration status. Because if you're not working, if you don't have a status in the country, then you might run into trouble continuing your application because you don't have the job, you don't have the money to help with the expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start your journey, you have to plan. Okay, you have to do about 2 hours free travel to Canada before everything works all right. So you have to come to do your NCLEX. You have to come back to you have to come back to do the application for the license. But now I think they are online now, so you can do the application
Oh,
online.
yeah.
So I went back to my country because I wanted to work. I wanted to stay with my kids until we are about to travel, because I'm not leaving my kids behind.
So I think the main thing is, it depends on the kind of visa you have. If you have work visa, you need to check if you can stay and wait
Yes.
for your PRA to be granted or not, or to get your license. But you don't want to overstay your welcome in that country just because you already passed the exam. Okay, otherwise
Yes,
it's gonna affect you in future.
exactly. Because
Right.
passing the exam doesn't give you the license. You have
Yeah.
to have a status.
Yeah.
Somebody have to offer you that job
Mm,
for you to get the license.
yeah. So someone is asking, what's the possibility of working in Nova Scotia with a conditional license?
I have no idea about Nova Scotia and the conditional license. I don't know how they operate with their application processes.
Because I
But
think
if
it's
you
all
have a
different.
conditional license, you need a work visa to work.
Yes, Joanne, Canada is a beautiful country for family and newcomers.
I agree, and
It's true.
they really provide that support to the family, and they identify the need that people wants to travel with their family, and they, provide the avenue for you to
Mm.
do that application. So even with your common law, right? You don't want to leave your partner behind. You
No.
know, you
Mm.
don't want, you have been with this person for years, and because you're not married, maybe you're not ready to marry either, and you don't want to break apart your family, and they provided that opportunity for you to take your common law spouse with you.
It's really good. So please, can you state the steps to get work visa?
So it depends on the work that you are applying to, or the work, the job offer that you receive.
Mhm.
So the professional work, they provide you with a LMIA. From the LMIA, you are going to the Canadian website that operates or give information about any immigration process or pathway is
Eh,
cic.cg.
Let me write. I think people will need this. Sorry.
Yeah,
CAC.
CIC.
Wait. C.
So it's
Can you start from?
www dot
Yeah.
cic
Yes.
dot gc dot
Yes.
ca.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So
So
www.cic.gc.ca. Yeah.
yeah. So when you go on that website, that's where all the government information about immigration processes and the different pathways of immigrating to Canada is
Mm.
there. And you can look at all the different pathways and see which of the pathways is you would be eligible for, because they list out like the recommendations or the eligibility, the documents that you need, and so forth. So you were asking about what you need for your work visa. Well, I had my LMIA, so I had the green light to go and apply for a work visa, because if you don't have a LMIA
Yeah, you can't.
or a job offer, you can't apply for a work visa. So I had my LMIA at the time, so that gave me the eligibility or the green light to go and apply for my visa. So what they have a document checklist for the work visa, and all the visas, any visa that you're applying to, any immigration pathway that you choose, there's
Mhm.
always a document checklist. They always have a package for you to just follow. If you're preparing or if you're planning on, if you identify a immigration pathway that you think that you would be able to gather all your documents for, then you can start from now, right? So I know about there's a caregiver program, right? So they have a pilot program now. They usually open and close it. So you have to just watch the website when these programs come out. They always have pilot programs for immigration of different categories. So you just have to watch the website and see which program is opening. And as soon as they're open, they're closed
Yeah,
in a
because it's very
day
quick.
Yeah, in a day or two, and it's closed. They have reached the cap. So they will say
Yeah,
1,000, and in a
yeah,
day or two,
it
closed. Because
fills
that's
up.
what
Yeah.
people do. They watch the website, they see which
Mm-hmm.
program is
Mm-hmm.
coming, and the government provides you with the document checklist. So people are preparing for this opportunity for 1 year
Yes.
until the day it opens, they submit their application.
Mm-mm. That's very true. Right. Does Canada accept newly graduated international nurses to work without any years of working experience? Like if you've gotten
So
your NCLEX and you have your NCLEX, do you need any years of experience to work in Canada?
I'm not sure about the process. Once you have applied to the National Assessment Service that they provide, they will do the assessment and let you know if you are eligible. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't tell you from my experience.
How many years of experience did you have before you applied?
I had about 5 years experience before I
Ah,
applied.
okay. Thank you. Mm, okay, more questions, guys, if you do have. So this is the website if you want to know everything about the immigration in Canada. So just go on the website and check about it.
Yeah. So I did the express entry for my PR.
Mm-hmm.
If that's
Mm-hmm.
what if people want to know about that, I did the express entry for my PR. So you need like your English language. Canada has their own English language ban that
Mm-hmm.
you can do because they're already in the country, right? So you can do it inside the country.
What's the
Um,
score for that? Is it
7.
IELTS? IELTS?
You can have your IELTS also,
General
but
or academic?
yeah.
Did
So
you write academic or general?
academic.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, general. It's general for the permanent
PR.
residency
Yeah.
for the PR. 'Cause academic is for like when you're working or you're going for you're
School?
going to school.
Yeah. I think most people can still apply for PR or anywhere they are. You don't need to be in Canada to apply
Yeah, you
because
don't need to be in Canada.
they have IELTS centers in most countries. So people should try that route as well. Just that you have to wait for years. You might wait for even 2 years in the pool.
But if they're as I said in the scoring, they have the CRS system where they list out the different items that you need, and they will tell you what score you need for that one.
True.
So you can work towards your scoring. It may take you 2 years to get all your documents together and all the requirements together, but at least you're working towards the scoring, and then you
Mhm.
submit.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're in the pool, it doesn't the number that is chosen every month is not the
Mhm.
same. Sometimes it is high, sometimes it is low. So you submit, stay in the pool. I think you can stay in the pool for 2 years, and then they kick
Yeah.
you out.
It
you
takes.
know yeah, they kick you out because after some of the requirements are expired in 2 years, like your English is expired in 2 years and you have to redo that. So some things are
Yes.
expired in 2 years, so and that's why they kick you out after 2 years.
Mm-mm. So someone is asking, please ask if she knows the about the prep program for international educated nurse. Do you know
No,
about the
I don't know about the PEP program.
Okay, that's fine. Uh, I don't think. Do you know about WAEC? I don't think you were in Jamaica. Do you do WAEC?
No,
Okay.
we don't do
So just
YA.
when you finish secondary school, do you write any exam, any state exam when you finish secondary school?
No, we don't. We have the common entrance, not the common entrance, the Canadian CXC, similar to the GCS that the British writes.
Yeah. So GCS I think it's similar to WAEC as well. So like I think most schools will accept WAEC. I don't think you should worry about that, Florence. From what I know, I'm not 100% sure as well, but I think most schools would accept WAEC.
What the schools do here, though,
Mm-hmm.
if you're applying to the schools, you have to send your transcript,
Mm-hmm.
all your requirements to their their education. There's a education service that they do, and they assess it to see if it
Yeah.
is up to par. Did it meet the requirement to admit you into a in the university. So when you apply to whatever school, you go in and they will ask you, did you send your information to the assessment center? Then there you still can apply, but you have to send it there, and then they will send the transcript and the assessment results to the university.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Another question. Can a registered midwife get a job in Canada or is just RN?
I don't know about the registered midwife application, but you can check. I know some RNs are registered midwives as well, and then they have
Yeah.
like the straight registered midwife. But I don't know about that application if they can transition or apply.
Okay. Thank you very much. So please, is nursing being paid well in Canada?
It is paid. Yeah, it is a good paying job. Recently they had like some major increases to the
Mhm.
nursing wage in Canada. Well, here in Ontario, and every province is different. You don't get the same
Yes.
rate in so in Ontario it may start about maybe 40, 45. Don't quote me, but in a next province you may only get like 35 or $40.
Yeah, I think it's different from every state. So
And it yeah, it's different.
and I heard.
Uh,
Go on.
Sorry.
It's your
and
show. Go on.
and I will tell you that if you have experience from your country and coming in, it is compensated, so you don't start at the same level as a graduate nurse,
That's
but you
actually
have
very
to,
good.
yeah, you have to provide the proof that you
Yeah.
have been working for 5 years or whatever, so they will put you on the same grid. So if you were working for 10 years, you will get the same 10 years wage that a Canadian nurse gets.
Yeah, that's very good, honestly. There's something I wanted to ask. Now I'm forgetting. Okay, if I remember, I'll ask. Okay. Someone is asking, please, how do I apply for the express entry pool?
Well, if you go on the website that we provide,
So website, guys, this one.
go to the website that we provide and look for Federal Skill Worker
Mm-hmm.
Program. And that is the express entry pool for the Federal Skilled Worker Program. If you're a professional, you can apply there, and they have one for the Trades Skilled Worker Program
Yeah,
as
so
well.
those some people are asking about welding, about
Yeah,
welding
so
will be
there is
under
one.
trade.
Yes, there is one for skilled worker. You can
Yeah.
apply for yourself. There, if you want to bring your family, you can bring your family. If you have that, they have like they have an equation for the amount of money per family
Yeah.
member.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I moved away from that one, because I wanted to bring my kids, but it was so much money to put everybody on the same
Everybody.
application. But when I thought about it now, I'm like, I could have applied for myself, and then when you come in, then
How
you
many
apply for
bring?
them.
Yeah. I think tailoring too would be under trades profession. Do you think that?
I don't know. The list is there. They have
So
a
guys, just
whole
go to
bunch
this
of lists.
website and just scan through it. You're gonna see more information there, okay? I'm just looking for more question.
The list is there, and they give you all the documentation, and I find it very humanly friendly. So it's not information that you can't understand and you can't
Mhm.
comprehend what to do. And so they made it simple for individuals. If they think that they can manage to do their own application, they can go ahead and do their own application. Because I've tried using lawyers when I was coming in, and you have to pay a retainer fee for them to even to start to give you any information, for
Yeah,
them to
yeah, you
even
have
to
to pay for consultation
yeah, you have to
first.
pay for
And it's
I'm
and
like,
to be honest, I don't mean to talk down on them, but to be fair, some of them don't even know what they are doing.
they don't even know the process.
I'm telling you, some
You
of them
know
do
more
not
than
know.
them.
Yeah. Especially
You
when you're
know
in a
more than
specialist
them.
field. Like if you're a nurse and you're going to meet some normal lawyers, some of them don't. They don't know. I'm not even talking down on
They
them. Some of
don't
them,
know.
they've given
They
people
don't know.
false information, and I had someone that came to me and she like, God, there you, I just lost my opportunity to get into the Australia because the lawyer told her she doesn't need IELTS, she doesn't need English exam, but she did, and she already submitted all her application. And when they asked her for that, she didn't even have it at all. So she ended up losing that application fee. So it's like some of them don't know, some do know, but sometimes they don't know. That's why I always tell people, even if you're using an agent, know your stuff. So that when an agent tell you you don't need IELTS, you'll be like, no, there's no way I don't need IELTS. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
challenge them, they go back and make their own research because they don't know it all as well. So yeah, it's always good for people to know what they are doing as well. Even if you use an agent, know when they ask you for this, you know why they are asking for this. Because some of them will ask you for things that are not needed or things that are needed and they are not asked. So sometimes it's always good. But people are just not ready to make their own research. That's why I feel like if you want to move abroad, you need to make your research. Otherwise, that's how you keep paying extra money. That's how you keep entering into frauds, and then they just eat your money. Yeah.
That's correct, Nurse Dio. The lawyers, as I said, I'm not talking down on them either because we
Yeah,
have
but it's the
very
truth.
good ones too. But it was a big reputable immigration company that I applied to. I paid my retainer fee,
Yeah.
and when I got the portal and I went into it, I'm like, but I'm the one doing the work.
Yeah, you still have.
I'm the one providing the information. I'm the one doing everything. I'm the one asking the questions
So
because
you might as well do it yourself.
I was already doing my research. I know what I need. I know everything. And I'm like, why do I even pay in for something that I can do for
Alright.
myself? Right. So even I didn't do my license yet. I didn't have a job or anything like that, and there wasn't any advice. They was just telling you, oh, you're gonna need a job, you're gonna need to have this money, but there's no advice to help you to navigate and to how
Mm,
to make your application substantial for submission. So
yeah.
I just call it a loss, and that's when I realized that I can't immigrate without having my license. And then I start working on getting my license. And from I got my license, that's where everything just started to unfold.
Mm-mm. That's true. So someone's asking, is it possible to migrate from UK to Canada as a nurse? Of course it is.
Of course,
So
it
you're already in the
is.
UK, meaning it's easy for you to write the NCLEX because there's an NCLEX center in London. So just start from there. Get your assessment done, write your NCLEX exam first, and then you can start looking for jobs.
Hmm.
So how many shifts do they do? Like, what's the shift pattern in Canada like?
Okay, so where I work, so everybody is different, right? So where I work, they had 12-hour shifts and they had 8-hour shifts. So you work 12 day, 12 in the night. And then you have some department that works 8 hour, like the OR. I used to work the OR, so we only work 8 hours. And then they would have you on call.
Mm-hmm. That's good. How about enrolling for masters in nursing in Canada? Can you later get the opportunity to work?
Okay, so the education, they have an education pathway. So if you go into a university, if you get a student visa, you apply to college, you get your acceptance letter, you go for your student visa, you fly over to Canada. With the student visa, they give you a work visa, so you can
Oh,
work and go to school at the same time.
yeah.
When you're complete with your finish your university, have your graduation, you're given a 3-year work permit, so you can go and find your work. However, if it is nursing that you want to work in, you still need to have your license. You still need to go through that process. You still need to apply to the College of Nurses of whatever province that you are in. So at when you're in school, you can start working on that. So when you're finished, you have your license.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you have an idea of like affordable schools in Canada people can really apply to for people that are looking to go through the school part?
Okay, so this is really an interesting question because everybody think that the only place in Canada is Toronto. We
Ah,
have
and it's even more expensive in Toronto. Toronto is very expensive.
and Toronto is not the capital. Ottawa is a
It's the same way people think Sydney is the capital of Australia.
It's Ottawa. Ottawa is the capital of Canada, not Toronto. And everybody seems to want to go to Toronto, and it's so congested. And so the prices of anything, schooling, lodging, accommodation is so expensive for students. And they're now trying to push back on the number of people that they're accepting in those schools. So what I would recommend, because I'm in Ontario, I can say look for schools that are in Northern Ontario. Those
Northern
schools
Ontario.
do not have they're not full to capacity, but now that people are catching on and trying to move in from Toronto, then you find that more people are moving north now. But you have other provinces that are not overpopulated, like Nova Scotia, Manitoba, and so forth. You can try out schools in those provinces.
Okay, thank you very much. So guys, just go on Google and just type schools in north of northern Ontario,
Northern Ontario.
Nova Scotia. I think those places are very affordable. The thing is, when you go to a city that is affordable, the schools are also affordable. So
Yes.
just use that instinct to judge which school to apply to. But generally, schooling is not cheap. That's what I'll
It's
tell
not
people. Not,
cheap.
I won't
It
lie to
is
you. It's very
it
expensive.
it's very expensive, especially being an international student. So you
Mm-hmm.
pay like 3 times the amount a domestic student would pay.
Mm-hmm. Guys, people still ask for the
But
website.
it's
I've
worth
posted this
it. It's
website.
worth it though when you do schooling, because when you do schooling, you get your student visa and a work visa at the same time. And when
Yeah.
you complete your schooling, you get your 3-year work permit.
Yeah. And that's one thing. Honestly, I love the immigration in Canada. I won't lie. They have like clear
Yeah, they
pathway. You know
clear
what you're
pathway.
you know
They
what you're
don't
going.
they
There's no
don't
bug, 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 bug.
yeah. They don't leave you hanging. There's
Yeah.
always something for you to move on
Mm-hmm.
to. It's just for the individual to actually sort out themselves, know what is priority for them. Because when you get that 3-year work visa after you complete your schooling, the requirement is that you have to try and find a work in whatever area that you study in that
Mm-hmm.
3 years. They give you 3 years because they know that not everybody will get a job in the area of work that they study
Mm-hmm.
immediately after graduation, because you're going to have to bounce around until you find the work in the area that you study. So the
Mm-hmm.
requirement is that you work in the area that you study for 1 year, and then you're eligible to apply for your permanent residency. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always a clear pathway with any of the immigration programs that you decide to apply to. But you
All right.
have to do your research. You have to be patient. You
Yeah.
have to try to get all your requirements in place in order to do a submission, an application that will not be rejected.
Mm-mm. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me ask. Do you have an you're talking?
Mama,
Yes,
yes.
baby.
Can can I want I want I
Aw.
want to have something healthy. Okay, something.
Aw.
I'll give you
Mommy's
something
coming.
healthy.
Few minutes more. Few minutes. Mommy's
Few
coming.
minutes more. Yeah.
Okay. So do you know how much an international student will pay for nursing undergraduate study? Just idea. You don't have to tell us exact. But
You're looking around maybe 25,000 Canadian dollars.
per year or per semester, or how is it?
That would have the complete the
It will
complete
be
4 years. It's a 4-year program. So
really
yeah,
that's not bad
yeah, it's a 4-year
for the whole
program,
four
and
years.
I may not be
I
on
think
track,
it's
but you
I think it's
can just
per
Google
year.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
You can just Google it, and
Mhm.
you will see.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I will have to let her go now so that she can attend to her child. Thank
She's
you
getting
so much for coming.
antsy.
Really, I
But
appreciate.
I wanted to just, the advice I would leave with everyone is do your own research.
Yeah.
Even the information that I'm sharing here, it
Mm-hmm.
may not be what is current, because
Mm-hmm.
they upgrade, they change, they modify
Yes.
all the immigration processes. Get your passport from now. Don't wait until the opportunity comes and then you're like, oh my
You
God,
miss
I
it.
don't have a passport. If you're a nurse, you can start the application now. You can start it today. You don't have to wait until you see an opportunity, because it's not going to wait for you. These
No, a lot
processes
of
take
people.
like 6 months to be completed. After it goes to that assessment pool, then okay, Jackson, here. Can you give me a second? Please. I already have my tablet. Okay, can you bring your
Yeah.
tablet until I come? Thank you. So, if you're a nurse, if you're interested in migrating to Canada, start the application with the National Assessment Services for International Nurses.
Mm.
If you Those are some of the things that you can start from now without even identifying like where you want to work or who you want to work with. What else I wanted to say is um, ensure that you are identifying and working with reputable agencies and lawyers,
Mm-hmm.
because these people will scam your money away without
And that's true. That's actually true.
I'm not even joking. They are they will take your money without
Mm.
anyone's notice.
Yeah.
You will email them, no responses. So agencies in Canada usually should not be charging, but you
Mm-mm.
can confirm with them, because I did not pay this agency one
Mhm.
cent.
That's good. So guys, do not pay. If you are paying, it's a red flag already. Okay.
Yes, do your research. Do your research. And that is what I would leave you with. Start the application with the National Nursing Assessment Service. We didn't give that one, right? So the nurses, international nurses, would apply to the National Nursing Assessment
Mm-hmm.
Service. You would identify in the application which of the provinces that you would want them to send over their application to once it's complete. Get your passport in line and just do your research. Go to the Canadian website. There's a lot of immigration pathways there. You don't have to immigrate as a nurse. You can immigrate as something else, and then you come over and do your upgrading and then
Yeah.
apply for your license. Like me, I came as a nurse. I didn't want to continue to do nursing, so I went and I upgraded myself to informatics. So now I'm working as an informatics professional. I'm actually the manager of my department.
Honestly, you've done so well. Like, I'm still in a bit of should I just leave nursing because, like, I'm like, should I just leave nursing in total or just I don't know. I've not decided yet, but I really love that for you because
I
not nothing
I
will drain you. Nothing will drain you.
it it's good money. It's good money. But I value life over money. I value the
Exactly.
time that I spend with my kids over the money. I
Because you.
value the time that I relax. I have to relax, and time that I have to, just have my me time. This 12 hours back and forth, you get 2 days off, you're so tired. You don't have use for yourself or your family when you get your 2 days off.
Yeah. Do you work from home?
I can. Yes, I work from home sometimes. Even in the COVID period, I was working from home for almost a year.
Honestly, it's so sweet. I don't know if I want to do that yet, but let me just continue in my anesthetic nursing first, and then I'll figure out my life later.
Trust me, it as a nurse, you love your job, right? So
Yeah, but like,
when it comes to make a decision to switch or to move into a different career, it's hard because that's the only thing you know. That was my first job. I never worked in my life before I became a nurse. So it was school, school, school
mm-hmm,
until I went to university to complete my nursing and I started working as a registered nurse. So I didn't know anything other than my nursing, right?
nursing. Yeah.
So it was a difficult decision, but it was something that I wanted to do too, because
Mm-hmm.
informatics was something that I was like, what is this thing? I wanted to know about it. I wanted to do it, and I have the opportunity to do it, so I'm going to just go forward. But it
Yeah.
took me a while to make that decision, though. It's a
Mm-hmm.
hard decision. decision to switch from your what you know to the unknown.
It's true. Last question, please. How can we know genuine agencies? How can you know the agency is genuine?
Read the reviews. Just read the reviews and see on the website if there's any recommendation for agencies.
Mm.
I'm not in the US. I wasn't interested in going to the US, but US has a lot of nursing agencies that will do everything for you. They will do your immigration processes for you. They will help you with your NCLEX. They provide you with the educational material for your NCLEX. They also provide you with assistance with traveling and accommodation when you come into the country. However, you have to pay them back. So when you start working, they will take a percentage of your money when you
Yes.
start working for about maybe 2 3 years, depending on how much money that they need to pay, that you need to pay back. But
Mm-hmm.
they do everything for you in the from the US agencies. Agencies are a lot in the US. There are few in Canada that will help international nurses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
That's
only one I knew about at the time.
mm-hmm.
Agencies are in Canada, but they only focus on only if you're in Canada. Only a few agencies that will recruit international nurses.
Mm.
But I noticed that since the COVID period, and they need nurses and so forth, I see headlines like they're trying to recruit. So you can go online, Google to see if there's any nursing agencies that are recruiting international nurses.
Yeah. And as long as they don't ask you for money, I think it should be fine. Whatever you're doing, don't pay any
But
agency money.
but remember, you have to already do your
And
application and is eligible to have
mm-hmm.
your license.
Yeah.
So that's why I advise that get your passport and start your application as an international nurse through the National Nurses Assessment Service,
Yeah.
and just prepare yourself. If you have to do your English, do your English. If you have to start to do the assessment of your qualification, just go on the website, the government website. They identify the organization that you should send those documents to, and your transcript and your qualification for assessment. So those little things, identify the pathway, identify the different documents that they require for that pathway, and just prepare yourself. It's a preparation journey. If you want to go anywhere, you have to prepare yourself. It takes time. Um, these processes are everything is like 6 months or 3 months or 4 months to a year. So, in order to get to the work permit or the work visa,
Mm-hmm.
those things you have to put in place in
Yeah.
order to get yourself eligible to be selected or an opportunity to come to Canada.
All right.
So
Thank
that's
you
my advice to
so
everyone. Thank you for having
Thanks for
me.
coming. I really
Yes.
appreciate. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, bye
I'll,
bye.
I'll
Thank you.
chat to you. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I saw a question I wanted to answer. Nosio, waiting for your video on Pathway for Nursing New Zealand. Are you new here? Ibrahim, I already have loads of video on my channel for New Zealand nurses, okay? So you're already on my YouTube. Check my former videos. Before I did my Australia registration, I had my New Zealand license. So I did a video. You can watch those videos for your whole process. Okay, guys. Yeah, I hope people had a bit of idea on the Canada process and what to do, where to start, especially nurses, because it was mainly for nurses. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. And if I don't have any other question, I'll call it a day, a night, or a morning. Let me know. Let me know. You who can tell I'm so tired. You know it's 7 a.m. I should be sleeping. God. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Do you have to do biometrics? What country, my love? Hello, Faith. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Let me know if you have any other question. Otherwise, I'll stay 5 minutes and I'll go because I am very tired, to be fair. Any other question? Otherwise, chef kiss. Okay, guys. I'll see you all Is it on? I have another guest. We're gonna be talking about Iceland. She's been in Iceland for 5 years. When I made my video about Iceland, she told me she's in Iceland, so I messaged her, and we're going to do an interview for Iceland. Iceland is a beautiful country. It's quite expensive, but the pay is good in Iceland as well. So I'm going to bring her here, and we'll talk about it. She's a Nigerian, so you will have so much to talk about. New Zealand, we are stuck with New Zealand. See, New Zealand said January. They said January, but this is already 14th of January, and we've not heard anything from them. We are hoping to be the end of January or beginning of February, but hang in there. What I will tell you is keep calling them, and they will do your application. Okay. Can I have one-to-one section with you, Nadia? So if you check my link in my bio, you will be able to book a time with me. And you can book a session with me there. Okay. So Udo, yes, you can. No, Faith. No, who is asking me? Yes, Udo, Grace. Check the link in my bio. You can book a session with me there, or you can message me on Instagram. We'll have a chat there. Okay. Do you have what's the best way to decide which of these countries is best? So Treasure, this is a very good question. Okay, most of the times people want to migrate to a country and they don't know why, and they just be like looking at everybody. Oh, everybody's going to Canada, let's go. Everybody's going to Australia, let's go. But sometimes you have to sit down and ask yourself why. For me, how I decide which country to go to, okay, let me give you quick breakdown. The first thing you have to do is to decide which is easy for you. Okay, you have to decide which one is easy, which one is visible, which one is much likely to give you visa from your country. It's good to have a dream country in mind, but which one is easy for you to get to? Like when I was in Nigeria, I realized that for me, the UK was the easiest one to go to. Okay. So it was no brainer for me to choose the UK because there was no Enlex center in Nigeria if I want to go to Canada, Australia, or the US. So as a nurse, you have to write those exams to practice in these three countries. So I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? Most other Nordic countries, you need to write their English, their country's exam, speak Germany, French, and all that, which I know I can't do. I cannot speak any other language aside English. So I was like, that's not visible as well. So you have to look at how you can meet the requirement, which one is easy for you to meet the requirement, the one that is more visible. Secondly, you have to look about the country's pathway to residency. There are some countries you go to, and even if you stay there 100 years, you cannot get their permanent residency, you cannot get their citizenship. And one of them is all these Saudi Arabia's, like the Gulf countries. So I interviewed a nurse in Saudi Arabia, and she said that as well. So if you are in the Gulf countries, it's very hard for you to get their passport. It's very hard to get their citizenship. So something you have to look as well, because at the end of the day, one of the goals of immigrants is to have the country's citizenship and have the country's passport, because it just saves you money from applying for visa, ease of transport, and just gives you that peace of mind. Okay, so you have to look at the countries that gives that. But good thing is most first world country, Canada, US, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, they give, even Ireland, they give you permanent residency and they give you citizenship as well, so you don't have to worry about these ones. And what else? The price. Okay, there are some countries that are very expensive to go to. Like, to be honest, I'll tell you for a fact, moving from Nigeria to Australia is more like times three of how much you spend if you're going to UK. It's the same thing of if you're going to Canada or if you're going to US. It's very expensive. I'm not going to come here to tell you. The cheapest you can go to is the UK. So that's why you see most people going to UK. I mean, when it comes to nurses, so I'm not talking of school, because I know for school the UK is expensive. Okay, but the thing, I think in the UK you can pay half your tuition or something. But I'm talking for nurses. The process of moving to the UK is the cheapest amongst all these countries. So that's why most people go there first, and then if they like it, they stay. Okay, I'm not saying the UK is not good. Some people love the UK; it's their dream country, and that's perfect. That's fine. But some people use that as a passage to go to where they actually want to be, because it's now easier from there. Okay, so what else? You need to look at other things are minor, but these are the main things you have to look before going to any country. The next thing you have to look is the weather, the racism in that country, the safety, school for your children, because yeah, you're gonna have children at some point and you have to think ahead. What else? The healthcare system. These things are just basic, but at a point these things will mean a lot to you. But I would say if you're in Nigeria, the most important thing to think of is the ease of relocation, how much you're going to spend, the pathway to residency. These three things are the most important thing for me. That's what I thought about first before moving. Then when I got to the country, I now start thinking of the minor things like the weather. Like me, one of the reasons I left the UK was the weather. That's why I always say, if you are in Nigeria, the weather is not your problem. You will not die. Nobody dies of cold. You will not. Hey, people die. Oh. People freeze to death, shall. But that's what people always say. Oh, Canada is too cold. Please, how many people have you heard? People die, yes. There was, I think last year, somebody died of, she was stuck in her car. It made a lot of news that time. She was stuck in her car because of the snow, and I think the whole cold and everything. Her head, she passed out in the car. So it's something that happens, but it's very rare. But like I always tell people that in Nigeria, if you really want to move, these things are not they're not they're not the most important thing to think about. Okay, when you get there, when you have money, when you have your ground, you can now start thinking of the minor thing. It's too cold, it's too hot. That's what I'll say. But I wish you the best in your relocation, and I hope that you get all your relocation plans come true to you. Okay, I wish you the best. Like, last question before I go. Jesus, 5 months. I know people waiting for 3 months, but 5 months is a lot. I don't even know what to advise you, but my advice is keep calling them. When last did you call them? Call them every day. Me, when I was doing my application, I called them every day. I was calling them back to back. I think at the point, the lady that always speaks, she already know my voice. She says, "This dial." Okay, I think we spoke last. We spoke yesterday. She would tell her, "Oh yeah, I was the one that spoke to you yesterday." Like I told you, I said, I have to keep calling because you have to call them out. Just keep calling them, okay? They'll get used to your voice. They'll get used to you. And one thing I realized is sometimes when you call them, I'll say, okay, I've just sent your application now to your case manager. That's what thing I know that happened to me. So my advice, keep calling them, keep disturbing them till you get what you want. This year, no grief for anybody. Chinedu, we know they agree, okay? What requirement for nurses for New Zealand? Check my YouTube. Okay, I have a playlist on YouTube called Road to Australia. On that playlist, you're going to see everything I did to move to New Zealand. Okay, so check it. New Zealand process is quite aside the waiting time, the requirements now have reduced. The number of years needed to practice is now 1,800. Before, when I did mine, it was 2,500. So you see, it's almost like less now. It's very easy now. The only thing is the wait time, but it's because of a lot of people are applying. After the whole backlog, it will be seamless. It will be easier. Okay. So New Zealand is the next big thing. You're gonna love New Zealand. Okay. I have been messaging you since last year on Instagram. Please do not have replied. Please send your message again. The truth is I receive a lot of message and I don't really have so much time replying everybody inbox. Is it easier to migrate to New Zealand as a nurse? Yes. It depends on where you are and if you can afford it. Like I said, it's quite expensive to move to New Zealand, but it's possible. People have been doing it and people are doing it. So yes, it's possible. But right now, the New Zealand is currently trying to fade out their cap. So they used to do an adaptation program like orientation for a few months, but now they are taking that out. So they're going to bring up a new exam, which I'm not sure if it's going to look like the Enlex or not. They've not really said. They are slacking behind now, but I think it's going to be like the Enlex or CBT. Any of them they choose anyways, but they've changed the process now. It might be much easier or it might be a little bit different. Okay. Okay. I go through the site and I saw tailoring job because if you see Godwin, if you see the jobs, you just have to apply. But my advice is don't pay any employer, don't pay any agent. I mean, if you use agents, travel agencies, I don't know if you use immigration agencies, some of them require you to pay. But like I always tell people, it's free. Immigration is free. Legally, you're not allowed to pay anybody for immigration and all that. So if you apply for a job and they ask you for money, just know that it's most likely a scam. But if you don't ask for money, you don't have anything to lose, right? So just keep sending your documents and all that. So if you saw that, then apply for it. If you meet the requirement, if you have all the experience, if you have all the paperwork, if you don't have all those things, it's time for you to start gathering those documents. Okay, just gather it. Please, what do you know about Lithuania? I don't know much about Lithuania. I only know Lithuania is in Europe. I had a roommate that was from Lithuania in the UK, but that's the only thing I know. The only time I asked her why she moved to the UK was she was like there are no much jobs there. So I don't know so much about it, but I know it's in Europe. So yeah, that's all I know about Lithuania. Okay, guys. I'll call it a night, a morning, a day. New Zealand is too much delaying in accessing your documents for approval. Yeah, it's just the backlog. It's just the backlog. But hopefully, they said by the end of this month, because I heard some people are not even able to make payments. Some people that have been trying to apply, they've not been able to make payments. But let's hope that everything will settle down this month and then everybody can start their process. But yes, guys, thank you so much for coming. I'll see you all later. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.